show going as of last year. So, Real Talk with Whitley has been in effect for a full year now.
Okay, so now they see you on social media. So for
Hey,
those that are
y'all.
actually tuning in, hey y'all, you already know. You see the lady, you see her.
The
It's my
woman, the
girl,
myth, the legend.
the woman, the myth, the legend.
The
The woman,
legend.
the myth, the legend.
Yes.
I'm getting tongue tied and everything. I told. I said, Whitley, man, Whitley got me nervous. She got me
I'm
nervous over
sexy,
here.
so he nervous.
Hey man, so look, what's been good with you? Like, what's been going on?
Just living life. Just living life. Like I said, evolving into a new woman, into the woman I feel like God has called me to be. I'm finding myself. I'm discovering new hobbies, things that I never knew that I would be a part of. One thing being the gym life. Me and my friend girls have started praising and worshiping together, which I always was in church, but
Yeah.
incorporating my friends really means a lot to me and my children. They always go to church with me, but with them being in it now and seeing me and my friends interact with it, it seems like it has them being more interested. So I'm proud of that. Um, but yeah, like I was telling them on the radio, I've just been pouring into me, learning myself, loving myself, and just making time for me.
Okay, so making time for you.
Yes,
That's a big deal.
it
Okay,
is.
so you know the titles that you carry
Mm-hmm.
when you make time for you, was that hard to get back to the things or to get back to put you back in the place of where you've been? Because your personality, like everybody knows Whitley.
Well, it actually was because like doing my own thing in front of the camera, you know, stuff like that. I feel like that's me. Like I can be an open book. I can be the personality, the life of the party. But in my personal life, I feel like I was just a wife and mother, or like a married single mother, should we say. Um, and so now that I'm single and have been single for a year and a half, I feel like I have learned more about Whitley, the woman. Not Whitley, the mother, not Whitley the wife, Whitley, the friend, Whitley, the homegirl, but Whitley, the woman. And I'm learning some things about myself. I'm enjoying it. And I'm just going with the flow, learning myself, learning to set boundaries, learning to stand on business when it comes to those boundaries, even though it may be hard, even though I may want to backtrack and do some things that I really like to do. But just trying to get right and stay right.
Okay. So, we still see on social media a lot. And like I said, the part about like what you were saying as far as about working, kind of, put pouring more into yourself. We see you at the gym. So what's
Yes.
going on with this? Are you
I'm
trying to be
loving
like a
the gym.
bodybuilder now? Like what's going on with
No,
that?
I don't want to be a bodybuilder, honey. I just want to be fine. I want to be fine and fit. I want to be healthy. I'm almost 40. I know it don't look like it, but I want to be 40 and fit. I want to be healthy. I want to have the body. I want to get rid of this stomach. I feel like that's the one thing that I haven't been seeing a lot of progress with, but the glutes are gluting, and I'm happy about that. Um, and I'm enjoying it. Like I do feel like that's something of me pouring into myself. Like I always been thin, slim, but I've always wanted to have a few extra pounds. And I'm kind of building muscle. I'm not really trying to lose weight. Like I said, I do want to lose the gut, but grow the butt. So yeah.
And for those that are watching and listening, I mean, I don't know, I know maybe that's a woman thing, but she's saying a gut. Now, when you think about a gut, you're looking like this thing you have to look over. Whitney does not have a gut, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and kill that speculation because she's putting that out there. I don't know why she's doing that, but I don't know why she's putting herself out there like that. But there is no gut over there. I don't know what she's talking about, y'all.
Well,
I think
thank you.
she's kind
Maybe
of
maybe it's working. People can see what you can't see in yourself. So I appreciate that.
okay. So for those that know you, we know, like I said, we know you're an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
With you being an entrepreneur, you say work, you got to continue to bring the money in. That's something you do. So when you kind of, like you say, you maybe took a break and started, getting your me time in,
Right.
has that affected your business?
It definitely has. A lot has affected my business, but also me being in a mental state, not in a crazy mental state, but like procrastinating and, feeling like, oh, well, everybody's selling the same thing. And, that does take a toll on your ability to perform in your business and to pour your all into your business. When you kind of start looking at it like a hobby, you kind of lose the passion for it. Um, it does take effect. It really does. And when things aren't aligned in your life, then everything is out of alignment. You might think it's, oh, well, because I'm strong, I'm going through that, I'm getting through that. But other areas are going to be affected. You can't just pour into yourself and still pour into your business and still pour into and everything is just meshing well until you get right, until you take that time to actually find yourself, know what you want to do, know your passion, and be consistent and disciplined.
Now, you did mention on the radio, you were kind of talking about, not being a mother, not being that entrepreneur, not being that podcaster,
Mm-hmm.
influencer. You said you actually work on Whitley.
Right.
So it has been about a year.
Yeah, it's been about a year and a half. And like I said, I'm just finding out new things about me, rediscovering my worth. Things I settled for in my marriage, like I wouldn't dare, like, and that's why I haven't been interested in, anybody because I settled for the bare minimum for so long, and I feel like that's all anybody really has to offer these days. Like, I don't need you to pay my bills. I don't need you to, give me money and stuff, but I need you to at least have the same kind of mind frame that I have. I need you to at least like me enough to want to do something spontaneous for me, with me, plan dates, plan trips, plan, like some effort.
The energy. You want the
Yeah.
same energy. You want to bring, someone to bring that.
Because I feel like I'm a player, but I'm also a lover girl. Like, if I'm in it, then, I'm giving you what I want, and I don't feel like it's being reciprocated.
Okay. Okay, so, we were kind of talking about, before we were talking about, Whitley, finding Whitley. So,
Yes.
Throughout this time,
Mm-hmm.
what have you learned about yourself? Like something that you didn't know. Like, what have you learned about yourself?
I learned. I knew I always liked to read, so I can't really say that. But as far as myself and my growth, I've learned that I have a hard time letting go when like my feelings are involved, or if like it's like if I don't care nothing about you, then you know. But how can I say it? I guess I've learned that I will take a lot from people until I just can't take it no more. And then after that, like it's kind of like I have to hate you to do what's best for me. Like I can't know you doing me wrong. I can't know you giving me the bare minimum. I can know that, and I'm still gonna give you that opportunity to improve because I see the potential. And it's like I'm not doing nothing but hurting me. So I feel like a lot of my problem, I don't know if y'all can say that, but something that I've learned about myself is I give other people the grace that I should be giving myself.
Okay. And that's
We'll
big.
say that, yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
To be a giver.
Mm-hmm.
And then, maybe to be more selfish. And it's okay.
Right.
It's okay to be selfish about yourself.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm there. Like I'm okay with it. Like if I gotta be alone for the rest of my life, I'm not lonely. You know what I mean? But if I have to be alone and single for the rest of my life, then I feel like that's a hill I'm willing to die on because I know what I want. I know how I want to be treated. Yeah. And I'm not gonna settle anymore. I'm not gonna settle, just to have a companion that ain't really, no companion.
Hey y'all, I'm trying to hold it together. She told me when we got on air, to be ready. So, I think I'm doing all right now. Okay, so talking about being an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
So being in an entrepreneur life, that was the first thing.
Yeah, I started being an entrepreneur. And it came to me easy because I do like accessories. I like fashion. I like, clothes and all that kind of stuff. And I have a friend, Deanne. She kind of pumped me up. She stayed on me. Girl, you need to start your business. Girl, you need to. And I finally did it. And when I did it, I fell in love with it. Um, and that's another thing that I found out about myself is I can be really passionate about something for a little while. It's like once, you know, I feel like I mastered it, or once I feel like, well, it ain't really doing, what it was doing. So let's just go on to something else. And that's not good. I'm not saying that. And that goes back to me saying I give other people grace. I'm forgiving other people. I'm continuing relationships with people that don't deserve it, but I'm not willing to do that for my businesses or my shows or myself. It's like, oh well, the passion dies. And yeah.
So we kind of touched on you being an entrepreneur. So lifestyle influencer. I mean, that's powerful. We see your style. You got a lot of style. You come with the way you dress and the way you carry yourself. So with you finding Whitney, are we gonna see more of this
Lifestyle influencer is so funny. I know I said that, but it's really just kind of like because I don't know if you've heard, the little or seen the little post that'll be like, you influence people more than you realize, more than you get credit for. Like I see, y'all watching and y'all influenced. So, I just think it's kind of funny because when I make my reels and my TikToks and stuff, it's not really to say, oh, live this luxury life or I'm living the life. It's just shedding a light on me and my friends enjoying our time together, me and my kids enjoying our time. And, the outfits are influenced. The the events that we're doing are, an influence. So I do feel like I don't want that to be a focus, like content creating to be a focus, but I will keep sharing, my videos, my pictures, putting little things together. And it's not to inspire anybody, it's not to influence anybody, but y'all will be influenced.
I mean, quite naturally, people
Right.
are following.
Right.
So.
And y'all ain't got to give me the credit. I don't, you ain't got to shout me out. You ain't got to, but I know just like you know.
Oh, this girl is something else. Okay, so look, we're moving on. Yes. Okay, so when you popped out on the podcast scene, we seen you on Shut Up Billy, which eventually became Shut Up Billy and
Whitley.
Okay, so how was that experience for you actually stepping out in a field that you actually always wanted to?
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Shut Up Billy and Whitley. That was really fun.
Shout out to Billy, bro.
Shout out to Billy. Shout out to Shady for linking all that up and everything, the whole trifecta. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the people that I got to meet, like the networking, the relationships I built. Because some people that I met doing that show, like we really locked in,
Right,
So.
Right.
I really appreciate that. I appreciated being on the scene with him when we would go places, and like it was fun. It didn't feel like a job. I think when, like I said, when I lose passion for something, then it just kind of changes. When it kind of started feeling like a job, when it kind of, the relationship kind of took a turn, I think that's when it got less fun. And to me, anything fun, like if it's fun, I want to do it. Not saying that's a good thing, because taking the easy way out all the time, being comfortable, you got to challenge yourself. You got to, so that you can grow. But I do feel like certain things should still have a lightness to them, a funness about them.
Right. Okay, so that leads me to Real Talk with Whitney. Yes. So, you did Shut Up Billy with Whitney for a while, and you stepped out on your own. And, at the beginning when we first met, you expressed that you always wanted to, experience it on your own. For those that don't know, this young lady is also a journalist, so you've been in the mass comm field, so being in front of people and speaking, and something that I always tell Whitney, she has the voice. She carries herself to be a Wendy Williams, Oprah. Like you carry yourself in those, those are your mannerisms.
Thank
So, we talking about real talk with Whitney. So how
you.
did this manifest? When did we go ahead and pop on out? Because for those who don't know, we already went through season one.
We already went through
So
season
let's kind of
one.
recap that. Something tell us about that. When it
Okay,
started.
so years ago, like even before, like I always knew Shut Up Billy, but before, he was doing his show, before all of that, okay, I think it was, I don't even remember what year, but I kept saying I'm gonna start a talk show. It's gonna be Real Talk with Whitley. Me and my niece set up and we made, shout out Kalia, we made different songs for Real Talk with Whitley where she was rapping, and I never did it. Like I never, took action. I used to be a little self-conscious, about being in front of the camera for, other reasons or whatever. But I never did it. And then when I started, well, I was a guest on Shady Billy show with Shady Will, and it felt natural. Like I wasn't nervous, I wasn't fidgeting for words, it just because I'm a talker anyway, so it was easy. And I was like, I can do this, I can do this. And I wanted to start it even when I was with Shut Up Billy. Like I wanted to do that, and then I wanted to do Real Talk with Whitley, and like I wanted to be everywhere. But procrastination got the best of me, and I never did it. And so then when me and Billy parted ways, it was just kind of like, girl, that's what you like. So do what you like. Get back into it. And I was like, this is my time. And like, I know the trend for now is like podcast, podcast, podcast. I've never wanted a podcast. I've always wanted a talk show. Like, I want guests. I want to talk. I want to hear your story. I want to, bring out something for the guests, for the viewers that they didn't know about you. So I enjoy that. And so when I started it, I had my little shop set up, and it was lovely. The first season was off the chain. I started with Shady Will, but things got, convoluted, and I was kind of shooting it by myself, just with the camera. And I had some awesome guests. I mean, it was dope. That first season, if y'all haven't seen it, you can find it on YouTube, Real Talk with Whitley. You can go subscribe to it now. This show will be on there, and season 2 will be on there. But some dope guests from, I think we started shooting in like April and we finished in October. And from the first guest to the last guest, I enjoyed myself. And they enjoyed themselves. Like I got you know, little props from everybody. So
And look, y'all, when you watch it, the boutique was immaculate. The way it was set up, the color, the light, like it was dope. Like you had to be there to actually see it. And like I say, I'm honored that you even considered allowing me to be a part of that journey.
yes.
So for those that don't know, I recruit Whitley openly. I've been recruiting her because look, she's been a social goat. I'm trying to keep her with the social goats forever. But one thing like being a part of something where you can actually see the potential in a person to actually be bigger than being a part of something,
Right.
and actually being a brand on your own. I mean, that is what I foresee. So even if like I said, you are a GOAT, we just see you, still elevating and being that next Tamron Hall or whatever talk show, because that's the potential that I see. And like I said, just it's very, very, very. I'm very humbled to be in this position with you, and like I said, I just want to be able to tell the story. Like I want to be able to tell the Whitney story,
right.
In the future, like, hey, she was here, and got to see you grow,
and you helped me grow.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. So, for those that don't know, there's a new podcast coming to the Social Goals Network. We're gonna bring it up real quick and go come right back to Whitney, who I love, I don't discuss, and she's gonna be a big part of this show. So we gotta get back to her. We want to make sure we keep her on the screen. So we just want to kind of flash that. So we've been kind of chopping it up about that. So being back in this realm,
mm-hmm.
how do you actually feel about it? You found yourself, and like I said, you're sitting here today, you're telling your story. How do you feel about jumping back out there?
I mean, I feel like I'm ready. I think that's my thing, is that I try to go too hard, too quick, so I've learned to pace myself. I learned it's not a race. I'm in it for myself. I'm not competing with nobody. I'm not, trying to be like the next person. I do have people that I'm influenced by and inspirations and such. But I feel like I'm glad to be back. I feel like I'm glad to be me. Like I've always been me.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like I'm ready. I feel like during my healing that I have grown enough to know that communication plays a big part of something when I'm not, feeling something, when I'm not happy. Like I gotta speak on it. I can't expect you to know. Because as a Scorpio, I don't know if it's a Scorpio thing or a woman thing or a Whitley thing, but I don't feel like I should have to tell no grown person nothing. Like I feel like if we already, put our agreement on the table, then that's what it is. And don't stray from that because, like I say, that's when it used to be hard for me to come back from that. But I feel like I'm more open to communicating and having that confrontation. It doesn't have to be a negative confrontation, but confronting the fact that I ain't liking the way this going, and we're gonna have to do something different. So with whoever my counterpart will be, I just want us to be able to have that kind of relationship as well.
Okay. So for Real Talk with Whitley, and
Hmm.
also for the newer podcast, Who I Love, I Don't Discuss,
Yeah.
inspired by Kevin Gates. How can people reach you, or people who may want to be guests on these shows, on Real Talk with Whitley, or both? What's your preferred method of contact for those people?
Contact Shady Will.
Hey, hey, see, look, before
But
we
you
get
can
you,
message me. You can message me on Facebook, Whitley C. Mims. You can message me. Real Talk with Whitley has a page on Instagram, so you can follow that page and request. I guess it's better if you follow me because the request won't go into the message request. I don't know, but I'm on TikTok, Wooed by Whitley, and I'm on YouTube. You can follow me, subscribe on there. But yeah, contact Shady Will.
look, is there anything else that you want to, tell people we missed you? We all missed you. For the people who haven't seen you in a while, like, what is there any type of message or inspirational message you want to leave them
I
before we
want
get
to
out of here?
thank all of my loyal. I don't even want to call y'all supporters, but my loyal people, my clique, my woo boos, my I don't know. I gotta come up with a name for y'all. But everybody that always be on my team, no matter what, y'all always have my back. Y'all always supporting, y'all always watching, y'all always sharing, y'all looking for me to be back, all of that. I love y'all. I thank y'all. And just keep rocking with me because it's gonna get better. If y'all want to see something, those same channels, Whitley C. Mims on Facebook, pretty classy 88 on Instagram, Real Talk with Whitley on Instagram, Wooed by Whitley on TikTok. Message me, tell me what you want to see, tell me what you want to talk about, tell me if you want to be a guest. Tell me, hey girl, let's go a different route. Like I want to see something different. I'm open to all of that. I got some show ideas in mind. Um, it's gonna be fun. Season 2 is gonna be fun. So stay tuned. We're gonna be at different locations. We're gonna have different sets. We're gonna do different things. Like I know I got a cooking show coming up, and then I'm gonna probably do like some food reviews and all that kind of stuff. So just stay tuned. Stay down like y'all been down. I love y'all. It's gonna be fun. And seasons don't last always. So once this season is over, I'll take another little break and come back with some fresh ideas. But we just getting started, boo.
Look, you heard it here first, and like she said, we here for it. Really appreciate you.
I
Glad
appreciate
to
you,
have you back.
Shady.
Look, man, buckle your seatbelts, y'all. It's about to be a ride.
It's gonna be bumpy.
Look, man, that's our show. Like I said, it's my girl Whitney C. Look, we about to get up out here, y'all. We go.
Real
Hello.
talk with Whitley. Peace out.